Hey everyone, it's Darth Nihilus here, back to you today with another video. And today I wanted to talk about things that normies do not understand and never will understand about us incel men. And I wanted to start off this video by saying that, one of the most and main things that normies will never understand about men who are incels is the fact that, like, for example, and probably one of the best examples that I'm about to give in this video is how we have a lot of just extreme anger and hatred towards women. And obviously, I don't think incel men truly deep down inside hate women. Because if they really did hate women, they wouldn't care about them, and they wouldn't even have any longing or desire to get with them in the first place, as in getting into a relationship with them, like either a boy and girlfriend relationship or husband and wife relationship. But when us incel men say that we hate women, we are saying that because we are suffering. We're going through an immense amount of pain and anguish emotionally. Like, our lives are a living hell, and that is something that when it comes to you bitch-ass normies, you normal people out there in the world who are so easily able to get into relationships and always have been able to get into relationships so easily, whether it be boy and girlfriend relationship or husband and wife relationship. Like, it's just always been such a piece of cake for you normal people to always get into relationships. And to us incel men, it's just unfair. And we are frustrated. We are suffering every single day of our miserable ass lives. We're tormented and tortured emotionally by the fucking sight of all these damn normal people in relationships whenever we go out in public, anywhere, any place, anytime. Like, any place, anytime that we see couples, people who are in relationships, especially if they're young people, and I would say pretty much only if they're young people. Like, I don't feel at all triggered or pissed off or frustrated or angry or hateful when I see old couples. That shit doesn't bother me or affect me one bit. But when I see young couples, as in, guys and girls who are fucking teenagers in relationships, or people in their 20s or 30s or something like that, that's what triggers me. That's what makes my blood boil. That's what affects me so immensely, like emotionally. It just takes such a massive toll on me, and it wrecks my whole fucking day. And of course, that is something that normies will never understand. Like, you normal people out there in the world will never, not once, be able to comprehend what the fuck is going on in the minds and hearts of us incel men every single time that we see any of you couples, you young couples, out in public doing whatever the hell it is you are doing. And just by being couples and being young and in relationships, it just wrecks our whole fucking day. It crushes us. It torments us. It tortures us emotionally. Every single fucking time that we have to see that shit, it takes a toll on us. It triggers us. It makes our blood boil. Like, seriously. And, obviously, like, if we weren't suffering for so many years of our miserable ass lives, then obviously we wouldn't be so sexually frustrated. And we wouldn't have, feelings of hatred or anger towards women, or we wouldn't have feelings of anger and hatred, jealousy, and envy towards all these damn wretched ass young couples that we always see every time we go anywhere in fucking public, any time of the day. Like, it's just unfair. And young couples are everywhere. Everywhere you go, it literally doesn't matter. I mean, literally, like, young couples are all over the fucking place. And it makes our lives a living hell. It makes our existence that much worse whenever we see any young couples anywhere, anytime, any place out in public. Because we're suffering, our lives are a living hell, we're a miserable wreck, we're broken, we're damaged, we're torn apart, we're crushed, we're hopeless, we're full of despair. I mean, hell, we're probably constantly, having suicidal thoughts 24/7, and maybe even worse than that. And yet, whenever we want to go anywhere in public, for any reason at all, it's like that experience for incel guys like me, or incel men, is just always ruined. It just is always ruined. Because we can never, we can never catch a break. We can never go anywhere in public, anytime, any place, and not witness or see with our fucking eyes all these young couples who are just enjoying themselves and enjoying their lives and just having a wonderful ass time and wonderful ass experiences and going places and doing things and, I don't know, going on adventures and just living it up in life and living in the moment or whatever. And then us incel men, it's like, wow, it's like we can never catch a break. We can never go anywhere and not see that shit. We can never go anywhere in public and not have to witness all these fucking young couples that are just all over the fucking place and just everywhere we go. It's unbelievable. It's outrageous. And, another thing, like, us incels also have immense, extreme, severe hatred and anger towards young women because we ourselves as incel men have never been successful with them. We've never been able to, easily and successfully get into relationships with them, whether it be boy and girlfriend relationship or husband and wife relationship, because when it comes to us incel men, whenever we like a woman or women and have a crush on them or whatever, we're too shy of them, we're uncomfortable, nervous, stressed out, and intimidated around them or by them, by their presence, by their physical attractiveness. And it's just too much for us. It's too overwhelming. It's too overbearing for us incel men, even being in the physical presence of any beautiful women, anywhere, anytime, any place. And, obviously, like, another thing about us incel men that you normal people will never understand or be able to comprehend is the fact that, we have a really just hard, impossible time, loving other people because we've never really received that much love ourselves. And we certainly never received or got any kind of love or affection from women growing up. We never had any kind of positive reinforcements in our lives growing up. I mean, even since we were kids, we just felt like outcasts, outsiders, the black sheep, the group of guys who were just left out and excluded and just isolated, alienated, all that shit. It didn't do us any good. And, when it comes to you normal people, growing up, you yourselves had love and affection from women. And not just your mothers or your aunts or your grandmas, but also, like, I don't know, like, if you had any, like, girl cousins in your family, or if you were able to easily and successfully make friends with girls since you were in, I don't know, fucking elementary or middle school or something, and you were able to easily and successfully socialize with girls, even from a really young age, from really early on in your life. Whereas us incel men, we're not able to do that. We couldn't. It was impossible. And we never learned or were really taught, for that matter, how to talk to girls, how to socialize them, how to socialize with them and interact with them. Like, it's just never been easy for us incel men in our lives personally, compared to you normal people with your lives, which are so much better than compared to our lives. Because our lives were living hell. I mean, pretty much even since we were little kids. Like, nothing had ever looked up for us. Nothing, ever went our way. And nothing was ever really, like, good for us or whatever. Like, and, obviously, when it comes to you normal people, like you normal men out there in the world, the thing about you is that, of course, you're never going to be able to understand or comprehend the stuff that us incel men go through in our lives every single day, every week, every month, every year, that we are still incels, that we're still raging virgin men who are so very sexually frustrated. Because obviously, if you're a normal guy, then you will never have experienced what it feels like to be an incel. Like, if you're a normal guy and who have just always been able to easily and successfully talk to girls, make friends with girls, have girls socialize with you, even if you weren't really socializing with them, and they just always came your way, your direction, and just always made you feel welcome and accepted, that you belong, that you fit in, and that you're a normal person, and just make friends with girls, and then eventually that sooner or later would turn into, in your future when you become like a teenager in high school, it would help you and then like benefit you into eventually being able to get into a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship by the time you get into high school, by the time you're a teenager. But all that shit starts as early as elementary school. If you're not able to easily and successfully talk to girls since you're a kid, a child yourself as a boy, either in elementary school or middle school by the latest, then you're screwed. Like, it's just going to be over for you, and it will never have begun for you. Like, you're just going to always have a hard time interacting with girls and making friends with them, or ever being able to interact with them ever in your entire life. And you'll eventually become a weirdo, an outcast, an outsider, a black sheep, someone who's excluded, alienated, who keeps to themselves, and who's just so cut off from society and civilization and other people, and you won't fit in, and you'll just rot in your parents' house, and then you'll just, I don't know, you'll cut off all ties with the world and society, and then you'll just rot in your parents' basement, or at least rot in your parents' house, even if you're not rotting in your parents' basement, and you'll just become so depressed and suicidal, and you'll just, I don't know, your emotions will then just eat you alive. They just will. And your emotions and feelings will just get the best of you. And you'll never be normal, and you'll just keep descending into darkness, just everlasting darkness, and you'll never be able to find a way out or crawl your way out or anything. And so it's just, I don't know, it's just really heartbreaking and tragic to be an incel in this world. It really is. And people like you normies don't make it any easier for us. You don't make it any better for guys like me, for us incel men whose lives are already a living hell. And we're constantly tormented by our demons that we probably have way more of than compared to you normal people who at least had such a wonderful, privileged, spoiled, rotten life, and everything just came so damn fucking easy to you, at least when it came to easily and successfully picking up girls, flirting with them, talking to them, interacting with them, making friends with them, getting into relationships with them as boy and girlfriend or husband and wife, later on in your life, of course. It's unfair. And I don't know, us incels will never have that. We'll never be able to experience something so great as that. And the thing about me, I even envy and am jealous of and angry and hateful towards even people who are in toxic relationships, who have who have a lot of I don't know, rivalry in their relationships, or I don't know, there's a certain word I'm looking for, but or relationship issues and problems and whatnot. Boyfriends and girlfriends who have those problems and issues, or husbands and wives who do, I still feel jealous, envious, angry, and hateful towards those people, because at least they have a relationship. Even if it's bad. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I can't look past the fact that at least you have a relationship. That's way more than anything I could say for myself, or other incel men for that matter. We won't ever be in any kind of relationship ourselves. Never. At most, we can maybe hope for that shit by coping and believing in a lie that will never come true for guys like us, but also we can dream about it when we go to bed and have dreams, or we can fantasize about it in our minds. But overall, in real life, realistically, in reality, we'll never have that shit, unlike the vast majority of you normies out in the world. And so even if you have a piss poor relationship, at least you have some type of relationship. That's the thing that when it comes to us incel men, we can't look past, and we won't. We never will be able to, because, obviously it's not like your relationship was always bad, especially from the very start and beginning. It was probably wonderful. It was probably heaven on earth. It was probably the best thing ever for you as a guy or a girl. And same thing with people who get married. Even if they eventually have a fallout later on in their marriage, or end up getting divorced or whatever, at least at the very start and beginning of that marriage, it was fantastic. It was great. It was spectacular. It was marvelous. It was heaven on earth. It was whatever. It was paradise. But for us incel men, we don't get to experience any kind of relationship with a woman, whether it be bad or good, or both. We don't get anything close to either of those things, or both. And so that is why we can't help but feel jealous, envious, angry, and hateful towards pretty much any and all young couples. And again, as I said earlier in this video, I do not feel envious, jealous, angry at, or hateful towards old couples. They don't bother me. They don't offend me. They don't trigger me. They don't make my blood boil, because they're old. And at least when it comes to old people, they're not going to be, just all flirty and mushy and gushy whenever going out in public. And, they're not going to be going out in public with their children when they're old. Their children are probably all grown up, and maybe they have grandchildren. I don't know. And also, old couples, old people are way more reserved and way more calm, chill, and laid back than young couples who are just always mushy and gushy out in public and just always flirting and always doing young people, young couple bullshit that only makes us incel men's lives more of a living hell. And of course, when it comes to normal people, you don't care because you're totally unaware of what you're doing. You're totally unaware and oblivious and just completely and totally 100% blind to the fact and realization that you're causing us incel men's lives more suffering, more agony, more anguish, torment, torture, all that shit. Like, and you don't care because you don't care, and you never think about what you're doing. But of course, most of the people who go out in public are, of course, and obviously going to be normal people. You know, I literally like never see incel men out in public. Never. Not once. Like, seriously, I've never been lucky enough of ever, running into or bumping into another fellow incel brother out in public anywhere. And that really devastates me because I would love to be able to make incel friends in real life just as I do online on the internet. Because, yeah, I love making and having incel friends on the internet, and I really appreciate and am grateful for all the incel friends that I make online on the internet. But I would much rather prefer to have and make incel friends in real life as well. But the thing about me is I don't. I am not lucky or privileged enough of being able to do that. And of course, that's because incel men do not go out in public. They just don't. They never do. And, if I were to even find incel guys in public, I'd probably be more likely to find them in like a big city. But I never lived in a big city, and I don't really visit them that much or that often because I don't have my own car or vehicle of my own. And of course I never will because they're way too fucking expensive. And I'm not saying that I would want like a brand new vehicle, but I would want, one that would still be in good condition and have low miles on it and still be cheap, as in like under $10,000. But that's just me hoping and wishing and trying to cope or whatever. But, the thing is, like, I'm sad that I have never been able to find any incel guys out in public because I'm literally like the only incel who ever goes out in public that I know of personally. Like, other than me, I don't see any. I've never met a single guy who's an incel because pretty much every guy I see out in public is a normie, is a raging faggot normie who has been able to easily and successfully get into relationships with women, either boy and girlfriend relationship or husband wife relationship, and pump those women full of babies and impregnate them like crazy and have all the kids that they ever possibly could fucking want. I don't know, like, and it just tears my whole fucking world down. It's like, I don't know, it's like me being stomped on the heart. I don't know, it makes me feel like shit. It makes me feel like the worst that I've ever possibly felt when I see any and all young, beautiful women out in public, and I see that they're with some douchebag, faggot, normie guy who's a blue-pilled cuck, who's always been able to easily and successfully get with girls since like fucking high school, or maybe middle school for that matter, and has probably been fucking so many girls and women until he eventually is ready to, settle down and be tied down to one single woman. I don't know, like, it's just unfair. And the thing about me is, like, I'm not saying like oh, I wish I would have been able to become a man whore myself or sleep around with a bunch of girls since middle school or high school or whatever myself, like so many other faggot, normie, blue pilled, cuck bullshit, faggot, fuck shit, normie guys do. No. But I at least would have loved to have one girlfriend. Just one. That's all. That's all I wanted. That's all I expected to have. Just one girlfriend that I would have stayed with and hopefully and eventually got married to. Now, there could have possibly been the chance that she would have left me, because I would never leave a girl that I would be in a relationship with, even if I were in a relationship with a girl since, elementary school, middle school, high school. I would not break up with her. If I genuinely and sincerely liked her and I enjoyed and appreciated her company and I was truly in love with her and um like loved being around her and doing things with her, whatever, I would eventually want to marry that girl. But of course, the chances would be highly likely that she would want to leave me for another guy and just be a good for nothing, sorry ass whore. Like most women are, sadly, and unfortunately, especially today in modern times. But I would never leave a girl. And when it would come to being married to a woman, I would never divorce a woman either. If I genuinely and sincerely loved her, cared about her, respected her, and enjoyed her company, enjoyed spending time with her and going places and doing things and just, you know, being around her. And I don't know, like, I would never divorce my wife and I would never cheat on my wife. Same with a girlfriend. Like, if I would have had a girlfriend since middle school or high school or whatever, I would never, ever cheat on her. I wouldn't. I would never do that, because unlike most girls and women, I would be loyal and faithful. And especially because I'm an incel and it's not easy for me to get into a relationship with a woman or be able to socialize or interact with them in any way, shape, or form. If I were lucky enough of getting with a woman, then obviously I would stay with her, because I don't have game. I'm not charming. I'm not confident. I don't have self-esteem. I am funny, but I would not be funny um, to a girl or to a woman, especially because she would probably have different humor than I do. And also, like, I wouldn't be confident enough to even try to be funny around a girl or woman that I would like and have a crush on. And also, like, um, I don't have a good personality and I'm very negative because I've suffered so much in my life, because my life has been a living hell. So, of course, I'm not going to be funny, charming, or have a good personality, because I didn't really have that many positive reinforcements in my life growing up. And no women or girls ever gave me any kind or amount of affection that also weren't related to me, or love, care, respect. Like, none of them understood me. None of them tried to be friends with me or socialize with me or, make me feel welcome and accepted or whatever. They just had literally nothing to do with me. And so I was never able to develop any kind of social skills when it came to talking to any girls or women that I liked in my life growing up, even since I was a little boy, a kid, a child. And of course, that lasted for me up until high school. And then I was just fucked by the time I became a teenager and was in high school, even though I didn't stay in high school for that long. And I dropped out, and then I cut myself off from the world and society and civilization, people, all that. And like, I've just been rotting in my parents' houses ever since, and just mostly been doing nothing and just feeling sorry for myself, feeling bad for myself. And just, I don't know, like, I don't have any purpose or meaning in life. Like, I don't have any vocation or calling or you know, um I don't have any drive or motivation or whatever. Like, I have no skills, no talents. And I'm just suffering, just as so many other incel men are all over this world. And so, like, those are the things that, when it comes to you normies, you don't understand. Oh, and before I stop this video, I just wanted to mention one last thing really quick here, that one thing that really triggers me, makes my blood boil, and enrages me and frustrates me and wrecks my whole fucking day is, of course and obviously, social media. And I'm not saying that because I believe that social media is real. I'm not an idiot. But the thing that ruins my day when it comes to social media, like whether it be Instagram or TikTok, those stupid fucking blue-pilled faggot shit social media platforms, is when I see all the young happy couples just bragging and boasting about being in relationships, and all these stupid faggot normie guys who say that they love their girlfriends or whatever the fuck. It's just so very cringe, and I hate seeing all the couples, all the young couples who are just bragging and boasting and just being so in your fucking face on TikTok and Instagram or whatever, or wherever on the internet. And when it comes to us incel men, we're mostly mainly on the internet because we're so cut off from the world and reality, and and so we use the internet and spend most of our lives on the internet because it's pretty much all we have, and it's the only time we can ever really socialize with other people or really experience the world, even just a little bit. And when we're on the internet, we're trying to enjoy ourselves, we're trying to be happy, we're trying to escape this reality and our suffering and our pain and all that. And then we go on the internet, and then we go on social media, and then we're just bombarded with all these fucking young couples who are just so happy and gleeful and cheerful and just bouncing around and just bragging and boasting and just being so in our face about how happy they are in relationships and how wonderful their lives are and how spoiled, rotten, and privileged they are, and how they're going places and doing things and just having all these grand life experiences. And it's annoying, and it triggers us, and it offends us, and it affects us, and it causes us so much pain and suffering and trauma, and makes our lives more of a living hell. And of course they don't care, but also they're totally unaware of it. And even if they were aware of it, they wouldn't care because they're cold, they're heartless. And they think it's funny that so many of us incel men are suffering every day of our miserable ass lives, every week, every year, every day, every week, every month, every year, just for so many years of our lives. We're stuck and trapped, we're practically imprisoned in our own minds. And this world and the people in it have caused us so much suffering. But it's really not the world's fault. I don't really blame this world, but I sure as hell do blame normal people, the people who inhabit this earth. They have ruined this earth. It's not the world's problem at all. Take away the people, this world would be pretty decent, pretty okay. But the people in it, the people who live on this earth and inhabit it, they're the ones who wreck this earth. But that's all I wanted to say in today's video. Let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. I'm out.